Hey guys, good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Joy here. I'll be doing a fragrance review on a house of Dua fragrances today. And the Dua fragrance that I have today, it's finally my first official Dua fragrance purchase. And I told you last video or so when I was doing the Rive Gauche from this sample that Ammar bhai produced. Thanks once again. I mentioned that he gave me two other samples that he purchased. The one of them is Tom Ford effing fabulous clone. Other one was Bois Du Portugal clone. So I tested them already, but I knew kind of like I was gonna get the bottle of. I was not quite sure actually, but I got a good deal from USB page, and I will tell you the story in a bit. So this was the Royal Portugal, and this fragrance is a clone of Bois Du Portugal by Creed. So you guys let me know. Tell you one thing. Since I saw the review of Mr. Dan Naughton, all the way from Great Britain, he really praised a fragrance that he really loved. That was Creed's Bois Du Portugal, and he said it's a signature scent of Frank Sinatra, and it has this very classy sort of vibe that he really enjoys. He owns both the original Bois Du Portugal and then this one by Dua that is called Royal Portugal. So he compared them side by side as well, and he did interview with Mahsam Raza, who is the owner of Dua fragrances. So let me tell you the story also of Mahsam Raza. He said, uh, I know many of you are not fan of Dua Fragrance House because of some issues and stuff. Set it aside. I'm just going to talk about the juice. I'm not going to go to that house and all that controversial talk because that doesn't really interest me. My interest is in the fragrance itself. Uh, why I buy a lot of these Alexandria Dua and other clone house fragrance? Because very simple. I would like to get a taste of the original thing when I find the original to be a bit pricey for my liking at this moment, and I can't afford it. So for the time being, if I get a very good clone, I buy it, and I think this is a very very good clone. So Masam Raza basically said he really loves this fragrance from House of Creed the most, and that's why he recreated this discontinued gem, and he wanted to make it like really potent version of it as well. So that's what I saw the video with Dan Naughton, and I think my interest started picking from there. And Bois du Portugal, as I understand, I tried it long time ago from one of my brothers. On my skin, it was fabulous. It was magical experience. It's something for very mature noses, sort of like a lavender, sort of kind of like a vetiver, and sandalwood. That's sort of like old school classic sort of feel, and it's kind of like a aromatic fougere because I think that the lavender has a lot to do with it. So it is kind of like a powdery lavender kind of a scent. Not everybody would love it, but I liked it because I was really interested in those kind of fragrances. And I bought, I think, Armaf Derby Clubhouse, hearing the fact that that is sort of a clone of that fragrance. No, nothing like that. It has sort of powdery lavender, but not that magical juice like Creed's. Then I did own the Lalique just now by brother Carlos Colom. He was reminding me, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, I'm talking a little bit different because I am not in the best frame of mind, but I would like to do this a bit differently. So Carlos told me, like, have you tried that one? How close is this one to that one? Which one is better? So I forgot about it totally that I used to own Lalique, the Lion version ADP, and I just like to compare that today as well. So Dua's version, let's look at this one. So I have been testing the sample, so I'll be doing the review from the full bottle so I can show you the presentation. In recent days, I have been also doing Casino Royale Nights. This is a Baccarat Rouge clone, and then shades of Bergamo, 22 shades of Bergamo, and this is like Bergamo 22 by Le Labo's clone, and also Invasion of the Berbers, that is a clone of some other niche fragrances. So I have been doing some duas because I have them with me. Let's look at this one, shall we? So this fragrance, it's they finally, I found, I never saw a box or presentation Dua ever. They always come in these 30 mls, and the prices are kind of like $45 for 30 ml. So always found that to be a little bit more pricey than the rest, but then anyway, it's okay. Each house has its own story. So it's a 30 ml extrude parfum. It mentions the ingredients and everything at the back, and these are made in USA, I think, handcrafted in Los Angeles. That's great. It's like you open it like that, bottle stays inside, and there's some sort of writing, some story here. So this box was, I think the bottle started leaking a little bit from the neck, so I got like some of the juice is missing in this, so I got a little bit really good discount at it, so I took it. So here's the name, Royal Portugal, just like the other sticker says, and the paint came off a little bit. I'm so sorry about that, but the sticker actually is still there. Okay, the name is there, all Portugal, and there's a nice gentleman with a suit or tuxedo, I don't know, like a blazer, and the cap. This is basically a decan bottle, but this is their newer bottles. So yeah, nothing much to the bottle. Juice color is kind of beautiful, attractive, yellowish. And let's talk about this. So my story with this one, I sprayed from the sample on my skin, and I immediately fell in love with it the moment I sprayed it, the Dua one. So I decided to get the bottle for me, and let's talk about this. Yeah, hand is empty. Let's try this. So let me tell you some of the negative things before I start with the positives, because I always like to end with positives. Some of the negatives, criticism I have for this fragrance, rather the whole line, I find them to be a little bit expensive for 30 ml. But it's not to say I'm bashing them. I'm just saying, just comparing. I'm not trying to put any house down, but they are their competitors like Alexandria and Dua sort of competition. So Alexandria has their 60 ml offerings for $55-$60. So that actually always gives me, because they always have clones of everything at the same time. But some of them are better at Alexandria, some of them better at Dua. But I found Alexandria's pricing to be better, and the 60 ml juice definitely can be used for a longer time. Second thing is, I found the presentation for the first time seeing this. Nothing much, it's just like a paper box, but at least full presentation feels better. Third thing is, these fragrances, I had this one experience with, I think, the Casino Royal Nights. I don't know the rest of them, but I sprayed it on my neck, and the hot summer's day, it kind of burned my neck. So I suggest this fragrance you wear it on your rest of the part of the hand or shirt. They really last a long time. Their good things start from here. Their performance are crazy. One negative other thing I would like to say before I start, that is, some of their fragrances feel like the way they're built kind of synthetic. They have this synthetic vibe at the initial blast. Okay, when you spray it for the first time, some of the fragrances, they give you bit of syntheticness compared to the original one. You expect that from a clone. But let's start some of the good things of this fragrance. I do not mind these bottles. It's okay as long as the juice and sprayers are working perfectly for me. These fragrances are extremely long lasting, because the oil concentration really long lasting, potent juice. You put this on your shirt, it's gonna stay at least 2 days. Okay, I would do for this fragrance not more than 2 sprays. Extremely potent juice. So this one I find to be let me tell you, it is similar, very similar to Bois Du Portugal, but it has its own twist. I find it to be a little bit more spicy, like Azaro Puro, if you know that barbershop type of fragrance. I find it to be like a little bit of that spiciness up top with that spicy lavender sort of opening. So it becomes very masculine, spicy, kind of like if you like Jaipur by Boucheron, that kind of spicy sort of masculine opening. But it doesn't have those vanillic dry down. It goes towards lavender, so kind of like fuchsia. So it's a masculine, very very uplifting, fresh. I get a little bit of with that spices, I get a little bit of I don't know, citrus, maybe a little bit kind of touch of citrus, hint of citrus, but spicy opening. Then you get that kind of like a green vetiver starts popping up, and then very last stage you get kind of like a sandalwood feel. But overall, what I get from this fragrance, it's kind of like a spicy, masculine, bit old school classic fragrance that lasts a very long time. Bois Du Portugal compared to this is a much better blend. Okay, Creed, you expect that with them, because Creed produce some of the finest fragrances. Not all of them are great, but most of them are built really well. So when compared with that, quality wise, definitely Creed is light years away, like ahead of this one. But for what you pay, like, it's not cheap. If you talk about the price for 100 ml, it will be actually a bit pricey, $110-$120. But I think this is a great alternative to the original one, Bois Du Portugal. It does have beautiful feeling. If you smell it from very close, it smells kind of like synthetic, kind of soapy. But if you put your hand away, that nice, it floats around in the air, and you get once in a while a waft of it from your shirt, just a tiny bit. Just do not even go full spray with it, just go half spray. You get that feel in the air that really feels nice. And then the dry down is very close to Bois Du Portugal. So if you can go past, let's say, first opening 1 hour, this fragrance becomes Bois Du Portugal, and dry down pretty damn close. But remember, syntheticness a little bit up top from the clone, And second thing is it's not as well blended as Bois Du Portugal, right? But I love it. I mean, I paid much lesser than definitely Creed, and I should be always fair. I should have my expectations realistic. How much do I like it? Do I love it as much as Baccarat Rouge clones or Grand Soir clones? It's right up there, but perhaps this is not a 10. I would give this like 8.5 out of 10 overall. Performance has no issue with performance. If you even see my hand, it's glittery, it's like oily, it's gonna stay like that for a long time. So these fragrances do not put a lot. That's my only suggestion. These fragrances, 30 ml is gonna last you a very very long time because you just need one spray of these fragrances. So yeah, uh, 8.5 out of 10 for me. Exterior parfum, it actually does perform like that, but you have to just give it a little bit time, to get to that dry down. Opening can be a little bit harsh, right? So yeah, so that is for Royal Portugal for you from House of Dua Fragrances. You can check it out. I recommend it to people with little bit mature noses and age wise a little bit mature. This is not for teenagers. I would recommend, yeah, I'm not gonna recommend this for compliment getting or flirting. This is very mature, well dressed, well spoken sort of gentleman, right? Check out this fragrance. I think it's nice, but it's not a perfect 10 for me. It's still a nice fragrance though, right? Take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a very nice day. Bye bye.